Hello folks, and welcome back to another episode of Wheels of Mercury. This is the releases I loved for the summer of 2025, as summer is ending up here in the Northern Hemisphere and autumn is going to be here soon. I just thought I'd come on here and talk about albums that I loved in the summer of 2025 that I listened to, and this was a hard list to put together. Originally, Witch Hazel's 5 Lamentations was going to be on this list, but it really grew off of me. Save for the one song, Healing Power. That's a great song, probably Song of the Year contender for me. Let's kick off this list with an album title I'm not sure how to pronounce because it's in Slovak. The newest album from the Slovakian black metal band Stangarigel called Striebornou. Horou. Apologies if I mispronounced that. Now this is like a symphonic Viking black metal sort of album, similar to I hate to bring up this band because I no longer listen to them because they are very problematic, but if you hear the keyboard melodies and how the keyboard sounds, it's pretty unavoidable. The Polish band Graveland. Again, I don't listen to them anymore because they are very problematic.
Did I just hear Graveland?
Oh gosh. See what happens when I talk about those types of bands? Eli shows up.
One of the best Polish black metal bands ever! Thousand Swords is a masterpiece!
Are you done? Can you let me film the rest of this video and stop wasting my time?
Okay, Wheels, I'll let you do your video. Talk about your safer metal alternatives, you woke poser!
Thank you. Anyway, to mention some less problematic bands for comparisons, I would say if you're a fan of Satyricon and stuff like that, you will like this album. They have some of the members from Malokarpatan in this group, one of my favorite non-English language black metal bands. So if you like that synth-drenched Viking style black metal, check this out. It's a really good album. Next up, Deadguy with their new album Near Death Travel Services, coming 35 years after their debut. I just love to see this metallic hardcore band come back after 35 years and absolutely kill it. And there's something so charming about a group of older guys from the hardcore scene just coming back and showing the young bands like Knocked Loose and all that how to properly do it. And it's just awesome. If you're a fan of stuff like Madball, Earth Crisis, Converge, Botch, and all of that 90s metallic hardcore / early metalcore stuff, you're gonna love this. The only thing I don't like about this album is the last track, Wax Princess, which has like this text-to-speech Siri sort of voice at the end, and it sort of distracts from the music. I'm not really a fan of that. But otherwise, this is a fun, very energetic album that you should check out if you're into old style metalcore or metallic hardcore. Yeah, check this out. This is awesome. Next up is the debut album from the Tennessee-based black metal band Sepulchre called Psalms unto Caesar. This is a great symphonic black metal album. Sure, it doesn't really do anything new that you've heard if you're into symphonic black metal, that is, but it does it well. I'm very blown away by how well they do the sounds of Emperor and Lymphonic Art and bands like that. Unlike some of those 90s classics though, this has a very clear production. You can hear everything in the mix, and it's very well balanced. If you'd like a good example of how to do modern symphonic black metal well, check this out. It's awesome. And I'm looking forward to see what this band does next. Next up is probably the most unique death metal album you will hear all year, with the Swedish band Floating with their album Hesitating Light. Now imagine if Blood Incantation all of a sudden fired their bassist and brought in the bassist from The Cure or Joy Division. That's what this sounds like. It's pretty cool. The novel style twists and turns that this album has is pretty unique for death metal. I've never seen post-punk and death metal combined in such a way. I've seen post-punk and black metal done before, like bands like Life Level and stuff like that, but never for death metal. So this is something a little different. Probably the most unique metal album I've heard all year, really. You have to hear it for yourself. If you're a fan of early The Cure, Blood Incantation, and other death metal bands that break the mold of what it is to be a death metal band, check this out. It's unique. Just give it a shot. Next up is Signs of the Swarm, was their album To Rid Myself of Truth. If you're not a fan of modern deathcore, this won't do anything to change your mind. But if you are a fan of modern deathcore, this is a great example of how to do it right. The overproduction is used well here to create this sort of action movie-esque sort of vibe, similar to like a Michael Bay film or something like that. It's very entertaining. The breakdowns are very brutal, but very entertaining as well. It has guest spots from Lorna Shore's Will Ramos, and the vocalist from Whitechapel, Phil Bozeman, is also on this album. Yeah, if you like your modern deathcore with all the brutal breakdowns and stuff like that, this is a fun listen. I had a lot of fun listening to this. And this is my first full-length album that I gotten into from this band. A fun listen if you like deathcore. Next up is probably the biggest album released all summer, and that is Deftones, with their album Private Music. Now, I wasn't really a Deftones fan growing up. I only liked one or two songs, Bored from Adrenaline and Diamond Eyes from the album of the same name. But in the summer of 2022, I noticed so many bands like Thornhill and Sleep Token and bands like that with pulling influence from Deftones. And White Pony finally clicked for me in the summer of 2022. So I went back and listened to Ohms, which was their new album at the time. I loved it. I still love that album. So now, with this album right here, Private Music, I think it's really good. It's probably one of my favorite albums of the year, if I'm being honest with myself. Chino sounds really good here, and Steven's riff sounds really cool, and the atmosphere is really ethereal, like a nocturnal sort of atmosphere. If you're not a Deftones fan, this won't do anything to change your mind, but if you are a Deftones fan, go for it. And if you're new to the band, this wouldn't be a bad place to start either. So, yeah, good job, Deftones. Great album. Next up is Arkhaaik, with their album Uihtis. This Arkhaaik band is from Switzerland, and it has members from the bands Ungefähr, Dogma, and other bands in the Swiss black metal underground. This is a blackened death doom album based upon Bronze Age hunting rituals and Bronze Age culture. You'll hear gongs, tribal drums, war horns, and stuff like that. It's a pretty cool atmosphere, and it drags you back into that period of human prehistory. It's very catchy. The way they structure the songs is similar to Exuvia, an album by the German death doom band The Ruins of Beverus. If you like that album by The Ruins of Beverus, you'll like this. I've had a sudden craving for death doom since I just turned 30, and this craving is satisfied with this album. So yeah, if you like stuff like The Ruins of Beverus, check this album out. It's really cool. It's probably one of my favorite albums of the year from this summer other than Deftones. So yeah, check this Arkhaaik band out. They're pretty cool. Before going to the Growers and Outliers sections, I'd like to make some brief shout out to the albums from Proscription, Vörnir, Deathhammer, and the Louisiana-based thrash metal band Void for making the end of my summer awesome. Great job to all of the bands that made these albums. These albums are all worth your time. The Growers and Outliers section, The Collider with La Grande Heresy. This is the side project of one Mr. Phil Tugas, who is from Quebec, and he plays guitar in the tactical death metal band First Fragment. But this album right here is his love letter to Running Wild and Hellenic black metal like Verathron, Necromantia, and Rotting Christ. He approaches this in a very unique way, using a very flanger-ish guitar tone, or is it bass tone? Either way, it sounds really cool. And timpani hits that remind me of a band like Master's Hammer out of Czech Republic. It also has ripping bass solos in it. He's not using a guitar, he's actually ripping it on a 4-string bass, which is pretty freaking cool. So if you like your Hellenic/Greek style black metal and you want to hear it done in a cool and unique way, check out the Uihtis album. This is probably one of the best black metal albums I've heard all year, actually. It's really freaking good. Next up is the third demo from the Portland, Oregon-based black metal band Colia de Ombre, called Distant Grandiosity of Horizons Past. This band was formed by the vocalist of the now disbanded black and death metal band Triumviral Foul. The keyboards do the heavy lifting on this demo. They are very, very majestic and beautiful. That is why I like this album so much. It reminds me of the band Cordolfo a little bit. Yeah, I really like the 2025 demo from Colia de Ombre. They also released a full-length album called Autumnal Fortress earlier this year. But if I'm being honest, that album is an hour long, which is a bit much for that raw, atmospheric style of black metal for me. It's still a great album, don't get me wrong, but this is half an hour long, which is more my style of length when it comes to that form of black metal. It's more manageable, in my honest opinion. So if you want to get a good introduction to Colia de Ombre, check out this demo. It's awesome. Last up is the debut album from the Finnish black metal band Bronze Hull, called Honor and Steel. I had some alarm bells ringing off in my head when I heard of the name of this album, but fortunately, this guy behind the band Bronze Hull is friends with the fellow Finnish black metal project Arkhaaik, who is anti-fascist, and that's a good sign. I'm glad this band isn't sketchy. I hope that holds for the future, because you never know with black metal. Anyway, Bronze Hull does a style similar to Viking-era battery. Think like Twilight of the Gods era battery, and you kind of got it, except the clean singing of Corson is replaced with black metal shrieks. So yeah, if you like bands like Falkenbach and Viking black metal bands like that, check this out. My only issue is that there are some guitar tones in the back half of one song that kind of sounds like it was done on Logic Pro. It kind of sounds fake. But other than that, it's a good Viking style black metal album. If you're a fan of that Stangarigel album I shouted out at the start of this video, then you'll like this too. That's a wrap for releases I loved for the summer of 2025. What were your releases that you loved during the summer or winter, if you're Australian, of 2025? Let me know down below. Don't forget to give this video a like and subscribe to Wheels of Mercury today. It really helps to grow this channel. And I am not too far away from 400 subscribers. If you'd like to help me get to 400 subscribers, subscribe to my channel now and give this video a like for the algorithm so YouTube knows to push my channel. Rock on, guys, and I will see you in the next video.